What would you do if you were a world leader faced with a choice between standing up for justice or bowing to pressure from the most powerful nation on earth? This is the dilemma Saudi Arabia faced when U.S. President Donald Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu pushed for normalization of relations without addressing the Palestinian struggle. But instead of yielding, Saudi Arabia took a bold stand, reaffirming its commitment to the Palestinian cause. This is the story of how one nation dared to say no to the United States and Israel, and what it means for the future of the Middle East. The relationship between the United States, Israel, and Saudi Arabia has always been complex. For decades, the U.S. has been a staunch ally of Israel, providing billions in military aid and political support. Meanwhile, Saudi Arabia, as the custodian of Islam's holiest sites, has positioned itself as a leader in the Muslim world, often advocating for Palestinian rights. But in recent years, the dynamics have shifted. Under President Trump, the U.S. has taken unprecedented steps to support Israel, including recognizing Jerusalem as its capital and brokering normalization deals between Israel and several Arab nations. Amid this backdrop, Saudi Arabia found itself at a crossroads. Would it follow the path of other Arab nations and normalize relations with Israel, or would it stand firm in its support for Palestine? Trump's pro-Israel agenda. Since taking office, Donald Trump has made it clear that his administration would be the most pro-Israel in U.S. history. "We're going to take care of Israel like nobody else," Trump declared during his campaign. True to his word, he moved the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem, cut funding to Palestinian aid programs, and brokered the Abraham Accords, which saw several Arab nations normalize relations with Israel. But Trump's support for Israel didn't stop there. In a meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Trump made a startling claim. Saudi Arabia no longer cared about establishing a Palestinian state. "They don't," Trump said, when asked if the Saudis were still committed to the Palestinian cause. Saudi Arabia's response. Saudi Arabia was quick to refute Trump's claim. In a statement issued by the Saudi Foreign Ministry, the kingdom reaffirmed its unwavering support for the Palestinian people. "The kingdom's position is firm and consistent," the statement read. "We will not pursue normalization with Israel unless an independent Palestinian state is established." This bold declaration sent shockwaves through the international community. It was a clear message to both Trump and Netanyahu. Saudi Arabia would not abandon Palestine for the sake of political convenience. The backstory: MBS and Palestine. Saudi Arabia's stance on Palestine has been a topic of speculation in recent years, particularly under the leadership of Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, MBS. In 2018, MBS was criticized for reportedly telling U.S. officials that he was not interested in the Palestinian issue. This led many to believe that Saudi Arabia was preparing to normalize relations with Israel, following in the footsteps of the UAE, Bahrain, and Sudan. But MBS's recent statements suggest a different story. By publicly reaffirming Saudi Arabia's commitment to Palestine, he has positioned the kingdom as a defender of Palestinian rights, even in the face of pressure from the U.S. and Israel. The Gaza question. Trump's comments about Saudi Arabia came amid reports that the U.S. was considering taking control of the Gaza Strip. "We're looking at Gaza very seriously," Trump said during a press conference. "We're thinking about doing something there." This proposal was met with widespread criticism, particularly from Arab nations who saw it as an attempt to further marginalize the Palestinian people. Saudi Arabia was among the first to reject the idea, refusing to accept Palestinian refugees or support any plan that undermined Palestinian sovereignty. The Arab world's divided stance. Saudi Arabia's bold stand highlights the growing divide in the Arab world over the issue of normalization with Israel. While some nations like the UAE and Bahrain have embraced normalization as a path to economic and political benefits, others like Saudi Arabia have resisted, citing the need for a just resolution to the Palestinian conflict. "This is a moral issue," says Dr. Amina Yusuf, a political analyst. "Saudi Arabia's stance sends a powerful message that not all Arab nations are willing to sacrifice Palestinian rights for the sake of political gain." The role of leadership. The actions of leaders like MBS and Trump have far-reaching implications for the future of the Middle East. "Leadership is about making tough choices," says Imam Rashid, a community leader. Saudi Arabia's decision to stand up for Palestine, even in the face of pressure from the U.S., is a testament to the kingdom's commitment to justice. But not everyone is convinced. Some critics argue that Saudi Arabia's stance is more about maintaining its image as a leader in the Muslim world than about genuine support for Palestine. Actions speak louder than words, says Dr. Yusuf. We'll have to wait and see if Saudi Arabia's commitment to Palestine translates into concrete actions. Trump's legacy in the Middle East. Donald Trump's presidency has left a lasting impact on the Middle East, particularly in terms of U.S.-Israel relations. Trump has fundamentally changed the dynamics of the region, says Dr. Yusuf. His policies have emboldened Israel while marginalizing the Palestinian cause. But Trump's approach has also sparked resistance, as seen in Saudi Arabia's bold stand. The Middle East is not a monolith, says Imam Rashid. Not every nation is willing to follow Trump's lead. The future of U.S.-Saudi relations. Saudi Arabia's defiance raises questions about the future of its relationship with the United States. The U.S. and Saudi Arabia have long been allies, but this could be a turning point, says Dr. Yusuf. If Saudi Arabia continues to prioritize Palestinian rights over U.S. interests, it could strain the relationship. But others believe that Saudi Arabia's stance could actually strengthen its position on the global stage. By standing up for Palestine, Saudi Arabia is positioning itself as a leader in the Muslim world, says Imam Rashid. This could enhance its influence and credibility. Saudi Arabia's bold stand against Trump and Israel is a reminder that the fight for justice is far from over. It's a story of courage, conviction, and the power of standing up for what's right. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time, keep striving for a world where justice prevails.